Okay, don't freak out, but also maybe do. A wild theory is making waves in the Bluey fandom. What if Bingo, the adorable little red healer, dies in season 4? Yep, people are calling it the death episode. Sounds nuts, right? But some fans think there are real clues hidden in past episodes. Is it just internet chaos? Or a heartbreaking plot twist waiting to happen? Grab your snacks. We're exploring the mystery of Bingo's maybe not so sleepy future.
That's too bad.
Alright, let's kick this off with the episode that sent fans into a tailspin. Fairies. At first, it's your usual Bluey chaos. Bandit's being a bit of a cranky kangaroo dad, and little Bingo isn't doing great health-wise. She's low energy, kind of dreamy, and honestly acting like she just had a conversation with a ghost, or a fairy, which she kind of did. Near the end of the episode, Bingo sees something magical, like floaty, glittery magic. Was it a fairy? An angel? A sparkle-powered visitor from the other side? No one knows. But fans think this magical moment isn't just whimsy, it might be deep, like Pixar level deep. Get this, the fairy builds a heart out of dominoes. Cute, right? But then, smash! The heart is meant to fall. Excuse me? Is this a metaphor for a broken heart? Or, more chillingly, a heart that's about to stop? And wait, there's more! The final 2 domino pieces the fairy uses are a 4 and a 1. Some very online fans think this could mean the death episode will drop in season 4, episode 1. Is that a real clue? Or just someone on Reddit who's had too much caffeine? Who knows? But it's spooky. The theory is that Bingo can see magical things because she's maybe, possibly, heartbreakingly getting close to crossing over into the supernatural dog park in the sky. Is this Bluey or the Sixth Sense? Either way, our hearts are not ready. Stay tuned. Or, emotionally brace yourself. Next up, the Dragon episode, a magical adventure that's secretly hiding some serious feelings. On the surface, it's all fairy tale fun. The healer family is off on a mystical journey, and Chili rides a horse that turns out to be her mom. Yep, the horse is a stand-in for Chili's late mother, who passed away from an illness. Cue the quiet sobbing. And here's where it gets a little suspicious. The episode is named Dragon, but not because there's an actual fire-breathing beast roasting marshmallows. Nope, it's a metaphor for a scary illness. When Chili says goodbye to the horse, aka her mom, it's like she's finally letting go. Oof, that one hit us right in the kibble. So, how does this link to Bingo? Well, let's dig into Chili's family tree. Everyone's got something. Grandpa Mort? Heart problems. Chili's mom? Defeated by the dragon. Aunt Brandy? Struggles with pregnancy and also looks suspiciously like a grown-up Bingo with a mortgage. It gets even deeper. Chili lost a baby once. Yep, that was revealed, and it was devastating. And all these characters, Brandy, Mort, Chili's mom, are red healers. Guess who else is a red healer? Our sweet little Bingo. So fans are wondering, is the show quietly warning us that red healers in the Blueyverse might be prone to big health problems? Is Bingo on that same path? We don't want to jump to conclusions, but gulp. The pattern is getting too real. Will our brave pup be okay in season 4? Or is she headed for an emotional coaster of dragon-sized proportions? All we can do now is wait, panic quietly, and maybe hug a plush Bingo until the new episodes drop. Let's talk about one of the biggest wait what moments in Bluey, the episode called Surprise. You remember it, right? Bingo becomes a pretend mom to an entire litter of invisible kids, and poor Bandit ends up doing full-time daycare for ghost puppies. It's chaotic, it's adorable, and it's classic Bluey mayhem. But wait, that's not even the weirdest part. At the end of the episode, we get a time jump. Bluey's grown up now. She has a daughter, and she pops by to visit Bandit and Chili, who are somehow still alive and not retired on an island far away from stuffed animal tea parties. But here's the real shocker. Chili casually says, "Oh, Bingo is just out at the back." Like Bingo's just chilling near the garden gnome? Shouldn't she be living her own grown-up dog life by now? This tiny detail has set the fandom's brain on fire. Why is Bingo still living at home, while Bluey has a mortgage and a kid who probably eats chalk? It wasn't a birthday party or anything fancy, just a surprise visit, which means Bingo being home was normal. So here's the goofy but oddly emotional theory. Bingo never moved out because she's not doing well. Maybe she's been sick. Maybe she needs extra care. Or maybe, just maybe, she just really likes the healer brand of cereal. But seriously, what if this is a subtle way of showing us that Bingo's not out adulting because she can't? And if this turns out to be true, fans everywhere will be ugly, crying into their plush Blueys. So next time someone says, Bingo's just out back, think twice. She might be swinging on a tire or hanging in there while the rest of the family pretends everything's fine. What if Bluey has been gently preparing us all along for the moment when Bingo says goodbye forever? Okay, so remember that one episode where Bingo's chilling in a hospital bed like it's a sleepover, but with zero fun and 100% sad vibes? Yeah, turns out she'd already been there for days, and when the doctor drops the old "one more night" line, you know it's serious. I mean, no one's keeping you in a hospital for extra snacks and cartoons, right? Poor Bingo's situation sounds pretty scary. And just when our hearts can't take it anymore, she says it's not fair, and Chili looks like she's holding back tears. When Mom doesn't argue and just agrees it's unfair, that's when you know something big and sad is up. To cheer her up, Bluey puts on a play about a girl who dreams of having a puppy. But wait, aren't they the puppies? Who's dreaming of a dog in a world full of dogs? That's like a pizza dreaming of owning a slice of pepperoni. But stay with me because in the play, the puppy gets sick, and there's no magic fix, no vet, no bone broth, no doggy super serum, just time. And when time is the only answer in a cartoon, it usually means something heavy's going down. Oh, and Bluey says something wild. Getting sick is just part of life. And right as she's dropping that philosophical bomb, Chili gets misty-eyed. Because plot twist, Bingo's not bouncing back this time. The play within a show isn't just pretend. It's a fluffy metaphor for what's happening for real. And now, here comes the kicker. If you've ever had a cold, you know the drill. Blankets, soup, and whining. But for Bingo, this isn't your average sniffle. This is the kind of sickness that makes everyone speak in sad puppy voices. So yeah, this whole scene, it's not just about Bingo staying another night. It might be the writers prepping our emotions for a major heartbreak. Let's hope it's just one big misunderstanding, but gulp, what if it's not? Let's talk about Mini Bluey, the episode that starts all silly and ends up poking you right in the feels. So here's the sitch. The Healer sisters decide to dye their fur, because who doesn't want a full-on puppy makeover? But things get really awkward really fast when Bluey realizes her parents are way too into the idea of having two Bingos. Like, what happened to Team Bluey, huh? At first, Bluey's just kinda mad. I mean, imagine your folks saying they'd rather copy your sibling than you. Major middle child energy crisis activated. But here's where it gets deep. Bluey doesn't realize what her parents are going through. When she turns into Big Bingo, aka Future Bingo, it's not just dress up. Nope, she's accidentally filling a role her parents fear will never exist. Think about it. Bandit and Chili aren't just giggling over hair dye. They're clinging to the fantasy of Bingo growing up. The moment Bluey becomes older Bingo, they light up. Not because it's funny, but because it's something they wish they could see happen in real life. In that moment, Bluey steps into a version of her sister that may never come to be. It's like the episode gives us this sneaky, emotional sucker punch wrapped in goofy family playtime. And suddenly, the fur dye isn't just about fashion. It's about fear. Bandit and Chili are grasping at hope with jazz paws and a paintbrush. So yeah, Mini Bluey looks like a comedy. But behind the scenes, it's a love letter to what could have been. The Healers want two Bingos, not because they're picking favorites, but because they're afraid they'll only have one for a little while longer. Cue the silent tears behind every parent's smile. This whole episode screams, let's pretend everything's fine while we hold our hearts together with duct tape and glitter glue. So go ahead and watch it again, but maybe this time with tissues, and maybe a hug. Let's rock it into the Bluey episode Bedtime, the one where Bingo takes a dreamy trip through the solar system that's secretly packed with more symbolism than your high school English teacher's bookshelf. On the surface, it's just Bingo drifting off to sleep and floating around the planets. But underneath, it's a star-powered metaphor for life, loss, and maybe something much deeper. First stop, Bingo emerges from Earth like a fuzzy little space bean, which hints at birth. Cute, right? But then she floats past Venus, and something's off. Venus is broken. Why? Because in the dream, Bluey left from there. That's a big deal since Venus is the second planet from the sun, and Earth, where Bingo began her journey, is the third. Translation, Bingo's following her sister's path, but finding things aren't quite the same. Now buckle up because here comes the emotional meteor shower. The sun in this dream represents Chili, the mom of the year. Why? Because Mercury, the planet closest to the sun, is where Bingo stops next. And if you've paid close attention to past episodes, you know that Chili lost a child before Bingo and Bluey were born. In this cosmic vision, Mercury isn't broken, it's peaceful. Bingo stands on it calmly near the sun, close to her lost brother in the sky. Then comes the real tearjerker. Chili's voice echoes through the stars with, "I'll always be with you, even if you can't see me." Boom. That's the moment we realize this isn't just a dream. It's a goodbye. A soft, starry, stuffed animal hug kind of goodbye. Finally, Bingo does the unthinkable. She lets go of Floppy, her beloved plush pal. A solo mission begins. She's moving on, but not in a regular growing up kind of way. This might be a sign that Bingo is heading somewhere no one else can follow. Somewhere far beyond Earth, Venus, and maybe even our screens. So the next time you watch Bedtime, remember, Bingo isn't just stargazing, she's saying something cosmic. Subscribe, or you'll accidentally step on a Lego every morning for the rest of the year. There's one Bluey episode that quietly punches you right in the gut when you least expect it. Flat Pack, Season 2, Episode 21. On the surface, it's just Bandit and Chili struggling with everyone's favorite adult nightmare, building furniture. Meanwhile, the kids go full imagination mode, as usual. But underneath all the cardboard chaos and cosmic playtime, this episode packs a deep, emotional wallop, especially when it comes to Bingo. While Bluey and her parents hang around Earth, well, the backyard, Bingo takes off on a solo fantasy journey that plays out like a mini documentary on evolution, from single-celled blobs to ancient sea creatures to full-blown astronauts. She fast-forwards through thousands of years of life on Earth in just a few minutes. It's funny and adorable, but there's something very meaningful going on here. Bingo is on her own journey, far, far away from the rest of the family. And that's no small thing. Bluey, Bandit, and Chili stay grounded, literally. They remain on Earth, building what turns out to be a peaceful little resting area, a swing set that Bandit eventually calls Paradise. Uh-oh, that's not just a chill place to hang out. That's a big metaphor, folks. Bandit and Chili are literally constructing a peaceful final resting place, aka heaven, while Bingo blasts off on a one-way rocket trip through evolution and beyond. Yeah, go ahead and cry. We'll wait. By the end of the episode, you realize something bittersweet. Bingo is the only one moving forward. She's the only one who evolves into the future and reaches the stars. And the paradise her parents are building isn't for her to play in. It's where they'll remember her. In the Bluey episode Show and Tell, Bandit takes his daughters on a road trip, but accidentally, or maybe not so accidentally, ends up at a cemetery. While it might seem like a goofy detour, fans think this moment holds a much deeper meaning. At first, it plays like a joke, a classic Bandit ignoring the GPS. But when you connect this scene with other emotional hints throughout the show, especially ones involving Bingo, the cemetery starts to feel symbolic. It may represent the final destination of Bingo's journey, suggesting that she could be facing something more serious than we realized. This isn't just a spooky setting or a background gag. The cemetery moment might be Bluey's quiet way of preparing viewers for loss. Bandit, usually cheerful and carefree, suddenly finds himself somewhere heavy and somber. If the road trip symbolizes life, then the stop at the cemetery shows that even when the path changes, the destination stays the same. It's a subtle but emotional twist in a show that's known for sneaking powerful messages into playful storylines. And for Bingo, this moment might be a soft goodbye hidden in plain sight. Want to uncover more hidden clues in Bluey? Bingo's story isn't the only mystery. There's more where that came from. Check out our next video for even deeper secrets and wild fan theories.